there for the B. So we'll have that for you coming up in just a little bit. And I have some more Patriot stuff for this week. I just did some New Orleans radio. Oh, they're high on Will Campbell. Oh, they got their jambalaya. It was jambalaya for Will Campbell tonight. So I'll recap some of that stuff that happened there. And there is news out of Chapel Hill today. And that's where we will lead things off tonight with our opening take presented by Super Service Today. Day or night, always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. And, well, what is happening here with Bill Belichick? There's news out there right now that potentially him and the school could be working out some sort of transition, buyout, whatever. And I'll give you the latest that's out there at the moment. But when it comes to Bill Belichick in general, my thought was go to North Carolina. It's the ACC. There's not a lot of tough teams that are out there. It's a little, if you want to turn a program around, North Carolina is probably one of them. They bring in good recruits. They have really good quarterbacks. And if you bring Bill Belichick in, it's kind of like a soft opening for him to really recruit. And I probably should have known that it was going to be a failure. It was really bad last week against Clemson. And for those that may have missed it, Dabo Swinney was trying to take a knee to just kind of run out the game. And Bill Belichick called a timeout with a second left. And it was such a petty move. ESPN actually said, well, Bill Belichick's not going to allow us to do this, so we'll just go to the next game. And that happened. That was real. That happened. And I'm just wondering if he's rubbing everybody the wrong way now. Like, is that something that, to consider there when it comes to Bill Belichick? But yes, 1 second left. He called the timeout last week. True story, everybody. And there's reports out there now. Earlier today, it was a potential exit strategy in discussions from North Carolina regarding Bill Belichick with reports of rule violations. So, Bill Belichick cheating? You mean to tell me he's already cheating? In the NFL? In the college football? From the NFL to college football? I read this one today, 24/7. I had this one regarding Bill Belichick, and it's actually not necessarily him, but he now has a potential exit strategy. Bill Belichick, who coached, of course, the Patriots for 24 years, 247sports.com, and occurred, doesn't mean Belichick will be fired, but there are preliminary conversations about the possibility. And a little while ago, there was a report, and I know Big Jim had this earlier tonight. Ollie Conley, he is of the Guardian and covers sports for them. He had a big breakdown on this one. But Bill Belichick has discussed a buyout option with North Carolina's hierarchy, who's Bubba Cunningham. If you guys know Bubba, Bubba wore the cut sleeves at the press conference this year. And Bubba is on the committee that got North Carolina into the field of the NCAA bracket this year when they did not belong. So Belichick has signaled a willingness to trigger his own $1 million buyout if he can find a soft landing with another team or in media. I am sniffing around on this one. I don't have sources, but I talk to people. And I read a lot about this stuff. I love college football. I love the juice about this story. I know here locally it's Bill failing and moving on, and it didn't work out, and he's already looking for a bailout. But members of Belichick's coaching staff have already spoken to other schools that are expected to be in the college football playoff about taking on roles during the postseason. Quote from one coach, "The rats are leaving the ship. Some staffers believe a change will come within 2 weeks." We did look it up. North Carolina is on the bye this week. Reports are serious recruiting violations remain under investigation at North Carolina. Recruiting and practice violations have already been proven by the school. So they got him. Using recruit violations to knock down a coach's buyout has become a standard practice. If Belichick cannot find a landing spot to trigger his own buyout, he's expected to accept a greatly reduced compromised rate. Conley goes on to say Belichick's communication with his staff in the past 2 weeks has been described as weird and distant by multiple members of the UNC's coaching staff. Multiple coaches were unable to get a hold of him during UNC's bye week. From one North Carolina defensive assistant, quote, "What we've done to these kids is bleeped up." End quote. I think a lot of people are looking at this thing and saying, ha, 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 ha. I do think about those kids. I do blame the program for even considering it and Bubba and all that stuff. I blame them. But I almost thought it was a soft landing spot already, Bill. So if the report is Bill might, trigger that $1 million buyout for a soft landing spot, you already hit your soft landing spot at North Carolina. You should have been competitive in the ACC. Do you want to send your kid to North Carolina with Bill Belichick? I will sit here and say I think he is the greatest coach of all time. The greatest coach of all time. I said this last night, I'll say it again. Bill Walsh returned to Stanford after his time in the NFL and was horrible. Nobody brings that up. Nobody thinks of that. It didn't tarnish his legacy. There's no doubt about it. Bill Belichick has tarnished his own legacy himself. He has done that. But I do think he might still have another opportunity. Most people probably have, nope, he's done. He's old. Look what he's done. Who would trust people around him? I get that. But there are people out there who think that there's still some value. And I have at least the idea that there may be an NFL team involved. It's not my source. I don't have any of that. We'll give you some audio coming up in a little bit because this is more of a sniff test situation, everybody. It just doesn't smell right. Belichick sold a bag of beans to North Carolina, got the bag, basically failed. It was just $1 million buyout. Maybe they'll use the allegations against him to get that thing down. And now can just go to his next spot and it's going to be better? I teased it, but I think there is an NFL team that would consider it. And it's highly unlikely, but I think there's legs to it. And I'll share that coming up on the other side. But this is more of a sniff test, everybody. No sources. No sources. Called around on it, though. Definitely sniffing this one out. I don't know what happens with Bill Belichick. Maybe something happens in the next 2 weeks. All we know is his time in North Carolina is probably done, and he's already looking for his next move. And I'll tell you this, I bet you Jordan Hudson is already prepping her next move as well. So we'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray. We're here till 7 o'clock. We'll hand things over to our buddy Ryan Johnston tonight, and Bob Beers, he'll be on the call. And we'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Troy on the Sports Zone.
That franchise is in absolute turmoil. And when Mike McDaniel gets fired, I have a hard time seeing their owner just hiring some other random coordinator. Like, he's tried it hasn't worked. I put this out on Twitter today. I've been thinking about this. I think he's going to go after a big name. And last year, Ben Johnson would have fallen under a big name. I don't even think that guy's going to exist this year. Who's the Mike Vrabel of this class? It sure as hell ain't Belichick. I don't know if you follow that story. Your boy broke it. It's not looking great. But I'd say Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Ryan Day. He's going to go after some big name college guys who maybe just go, you know what? I'm over this NIL thing.
Listen, what about Belichick? Got a place in Jupiter, doesn't he? I mean, Miami loves sex appeal. All their teams do. Even the
does Bill have sex appeal in 2026?
Well, I will tell you this. I don't think he's built for college. I said this before. He and Mike Lombardi, they're NFL guys. I mean, he can't draft. How can he recruit? I don't know. I don't think Belichick's crazy there.
And the one thing, if the owner was interested, which is weird because Miami actually had some success against Bill, but obviously he had a front row seat of watching Bill in his division forever. Bill would have to be pretty intrigued if the owner wanted him because he'd get to play the Patriots, right?
That's right.
He clearly despises. So, yeah, maybe I just think he's going to go after a big name. I can't see him going after whoever the hot coordinator is for the Broncos or the Texans or whatever. But they're going to be really, really bad. They have no shot.
I feel like a song once, right? Make me look sexy. Interesting stuff there. Very interesting stuff there. I'm sure you're sitting there. A lot of people are laughing like, ha, 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 ha. I'm a little embarrassed for him. I'll take the L. I thought it could work. Shame on me. I only watched the greatest coach in NFL history of all time do wonders in this town for a very long time. Shame on me for thinking he could go to lowly, soft landing North Carolina and be successful. That's on me. That is on me. And from everything I've heard from people that are in college football, they have been absolutely insulted by, really, it's Mike Lombardi more than anybody, but this whole Belichick to college. Mike Lombardi has made college scouts, embarrassed them, people who've been doing this for years. He basically made it seem like it was easy. He made it seem like these guys, they can come right in and figure it out. So college football is absolutely sticking it to Bill Belichick and Mike Lombardi. And I'll say it again, last week, Dabo Swinney, who I don't like. He's a very successful college coach. I'm sure at some point he's going to bail on Clemson too. And that's what college coaches do in that sport, right? They're good at one place, they take the bag of money, and they fail elsewhere. It's just one of those sports. College sports is known for head coaches who are selfish, entitled, money grabbers. And, well, who's the biggest one of them all? Bill Belichick. Now, I think it's more on Bubba Cunningham. Like, this is a fireable offense for him at North Carolina, but the story is Bill Belichick. And Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, is said to be desperate. For weeks, the future of Mike McDaniels as the Miami Dolphins head coach is coming to a conclusion at some point. And McDaniels has been spiraling downward for several reasons. Stephen Ross's frustration is genuine. I was reading this from Brian Miller out in Miami. Tony Pauline also said, he's an NFL insider, he also had mentioned about former Jets coach Rex Ryan being a consideration as the next head coach. So you just heard on the Colin Cowherd show that Stephen Ross is so desperate that he could be looking for a big name. By the way, one of the big names there, Skaz, he mentioned was Matt Patricia, which I thought was very interesting. Like, if we're gonna talk big names, are you really gonna bring up Matt Patricia or Ryan Day? I know Ryan Day won a championship, but come on now. So I'm sniffing around. My nose is out. I got a nose, baby. Joey the nose. I think McDaniels is done. I think they're floating Rex Ryan out there, and I think Stephen Ross is desperate, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Belichick was a candidate. It's wild. It's crazy. I'm in, and I'm sniffing around. This is a big sniff test, Skaz. Your thoughts on Bill Belichick cheating at North Carolina and now potentially looking for a soft landing spot?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's in sore need of a soft landing spot. My question is why? Why do the Miami Dolphins want Bill Belichick? What is, like, is he the best name available? What has he shown without Tom Brady anywhere that you would want to hire him if you're the Miami Dolphins?
You're right. There is nothing about the Miami Dolphins or anything that Bill Belichick's interesting at all. But no, for real. Like, do you think people want to coach the Dolphins?
I think there's coaches out there that look at Miami and say they have talent on that roster, and Mike McDaniel struggled to get the most out of it. I know it's an aging roster now. I'm not a Tua guy, not a Tua believer, certainly not a Tua believer long term, so they do need a quarterback, but Bill doesn't value that anyway. So I totally get it from Belichick's perspective where he wants a soft landing. I think Miami would be, maybe the best spot for Belichick. He gets to play the Jets. He gets to, play the Patriots. He can try and beat Shula's record in Shula's house. Like, in terms of from Belichick's perspective, I think it makes sense. I can see him doing it. I just don't get why the Dolphins would want Bill Belichick to be the head coach of their football team.
Let's talk soft landing spots then.
Yeah, it's ESPN, it's Fox Sports, it's him doing
working with Chris
college
Berman
game day
on a Sunday or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean,
well, let's
go away would be what I would say to Belichick. Just go away. Like, people, like, if he immediately comes to the media, I think it's still in the front of people's mind. Like, him being such a failure at UNC that he's back on your TV and he's going to be the one criticizing college programs or criticizing college coaches and then, taking shots at NFL teams. And look, I get it. He's the best coach of all time. He has the resume to criticize people in the NFL, but the way he drafted and what happened at UNC, I just think immediately jumping right into TV, maybe take a little time off, Bill.
I'm with you. But let's Skaz, let's play it out. Okay? Listeners out there right now, who does Bill Belichick have friends with? Who are his friends? Is there anybody that would say, hey, Bill, come be like a consultant with us?
Well, Shanahan already asked him to do it. And he said no, right?
That's a good one right there. Boom. But Mac Jones is there.
and Robert Sala's had that defense, right? He's the defensive coordinator there now?
Robert Saleh wants no part of Bill Belichick.
No.
So okay. Give me another one.
Hey, Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. Yeah, maybe you can mix up his text messages again.
Good one. Wait, we need a list. Maybe we should do that as a graphic tonight. Who are Bill Belichick's friends that are left?
He's going to go Ohio State.
Let me ask you this. What about the Giants? Dayball, they have a relationship. Maybe they'd fire him and let him just take over until they find their next guy, and if he works
So they're going to fire his friend Dayball and bring in Bill?
Yes! Come on! Okay. Do you see what I mean here? He should go away, Skaz. He should. The problem is, he won't. So I thought maybe he'd burn every bridge that was out there. The Giants thing sounds a little bit more interesting than the Dolphins, right?
You know who would love Miami, Joe? Jordan. She would love it in Miami. Oh, the opportunities down there.
Skaz, I had that lever. I was about to just pull that one before we went to break. Where does Jordan want to go?
Oh, 1-1, probably Miami. Beachfront.
But for real, though, I really mean this. Like, I think there's legs to it, dude. I think he's done, first off. But there's desperation out there, dude. So I'm trying to think of some more friends. I got one. Would Bill O'Brien, who's struggling at BC,
Oh, there's two guys you want running your college program together. Bill O'Brien and Bill Belichick. Two titans of NCAA football right there. Things are going well there. How's Castellanos look since he left BC?
They did lose to Miami.
They did lose, but he's been all right. He's looked pretty good.
I'll give you that. Is there any other friends for Bill Belichick out there? Are there any others? We'll pause. We'll think about that. Your thoughts, 617-779-0985. I went on New Orleans radio today, everybody. And, they are a little concerned about Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. And I'm a little concerned about the Saints. So we'll get into that coming up here after the break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy.
We have some betting odds we'll get to regarding the Bees in just a little bit. But this report about Bill Belichick discussed a buyout with North Carolina. It's we only had a short show tonight, and I figured we'd just lead off with that. But I just want to make this clear. This is why we are when I say we are. This is a pro sports town. We talk about the pro teams. We actually didn't even joke. I said in jest about Boston College, and look, we can't even take them seriously. And they have a former NFL coach who was here, who was successful and was with Tom Brady. Like UMass football, look what they're doing, right? Like the best football team locally here is probably Harvard, right? Holy Cross has had a pretty nice run. So it's almost embarrassing the way college sports is here. But this is something where Bill Belichick thought he was bigger than the job. He thought he was bigger than the job. And I'm sorry, this is why I love college sports. Again, I'm from here, so I don't know what it's like in Texas or in Oklahoma or the Red River Shootout that's happening this week. I don't know anything about that. I don't know what it's like at Michigan. I don't know what it's like at Ohio State. I got none of that. Jake tells us all about Arizona State all the time, or when we have Greeny on, they tell us all the time about college and the atmosphere, right? Nebraska football, watching Iowa, Oregon and what they're doing, right? Florida State and Miami are having a resurgence right now, and they played last week. It was a big deal. Penn State doesn't know what the hell they want to do. They win 10 games every year, but they might have to fire their coach because he can't win a big game. Right? Like this is college football. Bill Belichick thought he was bigger than that, and he's not. He's not. And now he's got to pay the tab. This time, Bill Belichick's got to pay the tab. He put all these things in there regarding a buyout. Well, now it's time for him to pay the check. You've heard the clips, guys. The Patriots have been getting wholesale deals for years. But Bill Belichick, he thought he was bigger than the job, and now he's going to have to buy himself out. That's bad. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Again, we're here until 7 o'clock. We'll hand things over to Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers tonight. They'll be on the call for tonight's game. You got Washington and the Boston Bruins in the opener tonight. So let's hear from you guys. You've heard from me. Let's start with Chris, who's in the car. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Joe. Thanks for getting that all fired up tonight in a short window. I think Skaz just nailed it. Like, this is an interesting topic, and the buyout certainly is plausible, but I can't imagine that the Dolphins would ever bring Belichick down to Miami to break Shula's record. That sounds like season ticket suicide. To me, that doesn't add up. And thanks for mentioning Crusaders. They've had a great couple of year run, not this year, but glad you didn't overlook them.
Oh, Chris, I listen, we do a lot of college sports on this show. We are not afraid of it. And we love it, man. Appreciate you, buddy. It is a risk. So thinking soft landing spots, TV, got it. Who are Bill Belichick's friends in the NFL? Does he have any? And we've already mentioned that Kyle Shanahan reached out to him. But he chose to go elsewhere. So it's not Buffalo. It's not the Jets. The Ravens could be interesting, but their defense is so bad. Could they get worse? Plus, I think Harbaugh hates him, so I don't know. Bengals, no. Bengals could be. They got a bad owner, right? Like, could Nick Caserio and the Texans be a soft spot? I'm just trying. Oh, what about Andy Reid? Could Andy Reid bring? I mean, what do they need him for? They're one of the best defensive coordinators of all time. I'm just looking for soft spots. There's not many. The Giants make sense, but this desperation from Stephen Ross, this has got me big sniff test on that one right there. We got Steve in Miami. Steve,
How are you, my friend?
what do you think, man? What's the scoop?
I think Belichick was convinced to go to North Carolina by his 24-year-old girlfriend. I really still believe that he really deep down wanted to try to break Shula's record, but because she likes the college environment better and all that, and instead of him being patient. And I believe that if he hadn't gone to North Carolina, he might have gotten a job this year. I want to get your thoughts. I really believe that she pulled the trigger and said, "Let's go to North Carolina."
Yep.
You know, I can be with people my age.
Hey, guess what? I'm sure she'll love Miami too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she was cut out for the pro part of it.
Take that out of it, though. Like, you're down there. Is there any buzz about McDaniel and who his successor could be?
No, all I know is that all the fans can't wait for McDaniels to be fired, and also what's his name, Greer.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be a clean sweep here.
Yeah, and Greer's dad obviously was with, I think Belichick
just passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he just passed away, a week or so ago?
Yep.
The father.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
Appreciate you, Steve. Sorry about that, to cut you off there. The only other guys that I think could probably give him a shot, and I'm just thinking of who Bill's friends are. The Giants is real to me. Dolphins are real to me. I wonder if the Broncos are because of Sean Payton's relationship. Could they bring him in as a soft landing spot? Yes. Do they need him? No. Your thoughts, 617-779-0985. I wanted to just touch on some Patriot stuff in a second here, but we got Mike in Hyde Park. Mike.
Hey, Joe. How are you, buddy?
Good, buddy.
Don't worry. You can keep your finger off the dump button this time.
What do you got tonight?
Well, soft landing spot, baby. How about Trinity?
I don't know if you want to be bringing... I don't know if you want to be bringing Bill Belichick to high school, Skaz. I don't know if that's the... Whenever they call in from Hyde Park or Rozzy or Westy, Skaz, you just gotta... You never know what they might say. You never know. Hey, I was on New Orleans radio today. I did hit with them regarding the Pats. They think Mike Vrabel and the Patriots are like the big bad Patriots. So they're scared. They are worried about Drake May. They think Will Campbell's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. They hate their kicker. They think he's terrible. And believe it or not, Spencer Rattler, they're not high on because he doesn't make any big plays. But he doesn't turn the ball over. So the more I look at this weekend's game, it is a spot, I think, for the Saints. I really do. Trap spot in particular. Now, I've had many people, hey, Joe, last week should have been the trap spot, or 2 weeks ago against the Panthers, whatever. But the things that the Saints do, they do suck. They're not a good football team. And Rattler's there because they drafted a kid who's not ready. But Rattler doesn't turn the ball over. The thing that the defense of the Saints does is they turn the ball over. So I do think that if Drake May or the Patriots offense gives up turnovers, that's how the Saints can stay in the game. I also do worry about Shaheed. He's had 18 plays of 40 yards or more dating back to last season. He has more than Tyreek Hill. So as far as a big play receiver, they have it. There's been a lot of talk about Alvin Kamara in his play, and he's right now getting less reps because Keandre Miller has really taken over. He played at TCU, was in that national championship team. He's 23 years old, and he's really taking off. Now, in the Patriots' favor is they're one of the best run-stopping teams in the league with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore. Just as a quick setup for this weekend, I keep saying trap game. To me, I think that the defense of the Saints can give the Patriots offense problems. I do. And it's funny because during that call when I was on there, they mentioned the pass rush of the Saints with Chase Young and their older defensive line. I mean, they got guys down on their team that are been on the team for 10 plus years in their 30s. Like they got some guys there, and they're going up against two rookies on the left side. So I still think trap game. Patriots should win. I don't think but they're worried about their kicker. They're worried in a close game their kicker can't get the job done. That's what's going on in New Orleans right now. They're not worried about their quarterback or any of that. It's their kicker. 617-779-0985. I have some Bruins odds for you. They're about to get underway. We'll give you those coming up next. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
nights this year during Bruins season. Road games might be best, so we just coordinated that, Skaz. How about that? That was like our before the season negotiation. Hey, maybe I can get you like a pizza somewhere or whatever, you know. Hey, how about some Bruins odds? I got intern Mark from Curry. I'm just gonna call him intern Mark from Curry because I'm putting Curry over and Mark over. But we have some betting odds for the 25-26 season. And we went over a little of this last night, but we looked up the Vezina, the Hart, what the Bruins to make the playoffs odds would be, and player to record points, 90 or more. That's where we're at. There's a few others that are out there as well. I'll read those to you in just a second here. But when you think about the Bees this year, it's transition, it's Marco Sturm, it's all that, right? It's all there. We've worked a couple of preseason games. The one thing I've noticed is a little bit more scoring from the defenseman. I know Zadorov has had a couple of goals. They're heavy though. They came out with what the rosters are and weights. They're, I believe, one of the highest weights in the NHL this year. And you know, I'm excited about this kid Minton. I am. I'm excited about him. I want to see what he can do. When you look at the lines this year, it's not the greatest. And they re-signed a lot of guys considering all the money that they had. So that could be a little disappointing when it comes to the roster itself. But I don't know. When I look at this team, like, there's some things to be excited about. You're going to get the two highest scorers in the NHL going at it tonight. Ovechkin had 44. And then Pastrnak, 43. So if you think about it, Pasternak's 9 goals away from 400. And we know Ovechkin's chasing, 900 or whatever. So that's interesting. And there are some things regarding the Bees this year. Obviously, we know about the new coach, Marco Sturm, and what he can do for the team. But Jeremy Swayman seems to be the number one thing, right? If they're going to make any noise or do anything whatsoever, Swayman needs to be the guy. And last year in 58 starts, he went 22, 29, and 7. Like, not good. And he even said he needs to be a better a better Jeremy Swayman. The Bruins need Swayman to be at least top 10 guy. Not top 10. They'll have a good chance to exceed any of the expectations that are out there. So let me give you these numbers here that intern Mark from Curry gave us. So Jeremy Swayman for the Vezina Trophy, plus 3,000. Any takers? How about the Hart Trophy? David Pastrnak comes in at plus 1,800. Will a player record 90 or more regular season points this year? David Pastrnak, big favorite, minus 600. So that's a given unless he gets hurt. And will the Boston Bruins make the playoffs? Right now, it is yes, plus $400. Now, if you think they're going to make the playoffs, that's money right there. You got to look for value. I think it's highly unlikely they do. But you know what? Why can't Swayman be a top 10 goaltender, Pastrnak be the guy he is, and actually get better results from your free agents from a year ago? To me, it's probably a long shot, but that $400 is good value to make the playoffs. I doubt it, but you know what? $10 get you 40, 100 get you 400, 1,000 get you $4,000. Why not this year? Have a little bit of fun. We'll have all the games here, of course, on 98.5 The Sports Hub.